You're right guys, Shay here, Uneven Bounce, hope you guys are well. So, MS Dhoni, the man, the myth, the legend, retires. Finally, breaking silence on Instagram with a one-liner pretty much, saying that he was done from the get. I am retired. I think it's as of 1929 hours. Obviously, he was referencing Indian time. It was posted yesterday on Instagram and it obviously broke out in all the news outlets yesterday. Saturday, it would have been the 15th of August. He officially now retired. Plays the last game in that semi-final against New Zealand. His 350th ODI, and yeah, I mean, we'll get to him a little bit in about stats and him as a player. But I just want to say, I've always referenced the fact that Indian cricket nowadays, the players in particular, the guys coming through, they have a lot more spunk about them than they did. Let's say 20 years ago, 30 years ago especially. I mean, I started watching kind of cricket early 90s, 93 pretty much, and I was kind of brought up on watching Indian cricketers like Navjot Sidhu and Anil Kumble and one of my favourites, Javakar Srinath, Venkatesh Prasad, Manoj Prabhakar, these guys, and much more humble kind of old school kind of feel about them, the way they play the game. I think obviously now, some gentleman-like almost, no arrogance about them, a lot of humility, and then obviously the last 10 years, you could say minimum, 10, probably 15 years, you could probably say, there's the era of Indian cricket has changed, the kind of the philosophy, and I guess it kind of goes hand in hand how the players are now seemingly on the surface with how India are positioned in the international game. They have so much influence over the ICC and the world game. Obviously, they are the powerhouse in international cricket, and the players kind of adhere to that. They kind of play up to that. Their position and standing in world cricket. A lot more arrogant, you could say. A lot more, arrogance, one word. Very confident, lavish, how they, kind of live off the field as well. But Dhoni, obviously, I think he kind of, he made his debut, 2004, 2005. I think it was 2005, wasn't it? And, he was a lot of things, wasn't he? He was dynamic and sensational and everything else, but he was, I think more than anything, was a very kind of cool, calm, collected guy. And I think he kind of ushered in that new era. It started really with him, I would say, his horrible mullet, dyed mullet, going around on his motorbike. You had this feeling that this guy, who is he? Do you know what I mean? It wasn't normal to see an Indian cricketer like that. You used to say Dravid and Tendulkar and Ajit Agarkar and these guys, and you see this Dhoni just not giving a shit basically about anything. Just some dude, he is who he is, And I always got the impression about him, Dhoni, that cricket. Obviously, he loved cricket. He enjoyed cricket a lot. I mean, look how long he's played for at such a high level. He obviously loves the game, but he very much wasn't about just cricket. You hear that a lot from players. I mean, Glenn Maxwell's interview recently on Cricket Bars, he was talking about that he watched a lot of cricket, and you hear that from a lot of cricketers. They're obsessed with the game. That being said, I just feel like Dhoni is the kind of guy. I mean, he's got, I think, best interest in one of the Indian Premier League football teams. I think he loves English football, and you can just tell that Dhoni's not this kind of guy who just happily will spend 3 hours with you and not even mention a bat or a ball in a conversation. I mean, it was quite well documented that he was a guy who would keep his hotel door room open at all times. You want to go for coffee, for a drink with him, to have a chat, everything but cricket, no problem. And I think you probably need that because it's so intense in India anyway, and icon players like himself, the pressure's on you so much, from over 1 billion people there. Obviously, that's a national sport. When you're the captain of, at one point all 3 teams, and so much pressure's on your shoulders, he was juggling so much. I mean, obviously he was leading player in his IPL team. He was obviously keeper, captain, batting, middle order, majority time, sometimes up the order, but majority in middle order. But still a lot of pressures on you at all times, and that's probably why I want to kind of not talk about cricket, I guess, when he had the opportunity not to. But I was laughing as well when I looked at the Instagram post at the fact that the people he follows on Instagram, he's 28 million followers. He only has 3, I think he only follows 3 people, and they're his wife, his daughter. I'm pretty sure it's his daughter. And Amitabh Bachchan, the very famous Bollywood actor, who he owns a business with as well. And that's it. He's got 28 million followers. He follows 3, and 2 of them are his wife and daughter. I mean, that just kind of shows he don't give a shit. He just doesn't care about following, even like Virat Kohli. You know, he's not bothered. And I think this is quite incredible. I think it's absolutely brilliant to see that. I've hardly ever seen him be flustered. I mean, I'm sure he can. Actually, I don't think he would give the hair dry treatment, you know. But you would know if he was pissed off, I guess, Dhoni, if you were playing with him. But I think is what he's done in the game. Actually, we might as well go to that now. I mean, as much as I admire his character, you've got to look at what he's achieved. So up on the screen now is actually his stats. If you go through it together, if you actually look there. And we just, yeah, if you have a look on the screen, you will see, I mean, Test matches, ODIs, and his T20 and his IPL careers. I just want to discuss those four in the main. So I said here, look, as you can see, 90 tests, averaging 38. His ODI record, which obviously is this kind of, I think he's probably best known for his ODI career. You know, from as I mentioned before, with the 3 trophies, obviously the T21 in 2007, but Champions Trophy in the World Cup. You know, 350 ODIs, almost 11,000 runs at almost 51. You know, the best for 183 not out, and I think he scored that. Was it 2005, 6? It was early on in his career, wasn't it? Yeah, he got promoted up the order. He went and blasted 183. 183 not out, I should point that out. Obviously, part of it, I think it was off 145 balls, wasn't it? Quite incredible. And, you know, his T20 record, if you look there, averaging almost 38. I mean, almost 1,617 runs, but it doesn't really matter so much. But, you know, average of almost 38, his strike rate's 126. I mean, they're superb numbers, you know, cumulatively. You know, you look at it, was 162 roughly, 164 pretty much, which is a very solid record in the ODI cricket. And his IPL career is phenomenal. I mean, 190 matches is averaging 42 an average, strike rate of almost 138. That's 180 cumulative. And I do that because I remember listening to a Tom Moody interview a while ago when he was talking about his selection process for the Sunrisers when he was in charge there, and he would say he would look at the strike rate plus the average, and anyone kind of above 160 for a top order batsman was obviously very good, and he would look at those numbers. I mean, obviously Dhoni is renowned as being a phenomenal finisher, and I think he's got a few more in the locker that I'm sure we'll see over the next 2 years with Chennai, because he's not finished yet. So he made, I think he was top run scorer last year. For Chennai, and then obviously they won in 2018. I mean, he's won 3 IPLs, hasn't he? 2010, 2011, 2018. He's, you know, Chennai and Mumbai are the most successful franchises by far. And Dhoni is a massive part of that because he's been a brilliant captain for them. I mean, he's undoubtedly for me the best white ball captain India ever had. And yeah, I mean, it's a shame really how he went out a little bit, you know, last year. I mean, he went out with damn squib, didn't he? You know, the way he tried to chase down that. I don't even have tried that much really. You know, the slow scoring rate against Bangladesh and against England. You know, he could have made a fist of it, but he didn't. And you wonder why didn't you go for it? What are you trying to do? Surely not preserving your wicket. I mean, but didn't even really make a grand effort of it. Maybe he just felt at that point, you know, in his head, he was like, he hasn't got it anymore. He hasn't got the ability to kind of drag India out again, out of the mire. Maybe that's what was going through him, you know, through his head at the time. He got a lot of flack for that, the Bangladesh and the England chases. But, you know, you have to kind of know that a little bit. I mean, you have to judge him by his body of work, his 15-year work, and it actually was 2004, wasn't it, that he made his debut. But you have to judge him by his body of work, and it's just been absolutely phenomenal. A phenomenal career, a phenomenal player, a phenomenal captain, and seemingly a phenomenal person. You know, he's the kind of guy that just led from the front. I mean, the outpouring of tributes has been phenomenal from people all over. It's been brilliant, isn't it, from all over the world. I think MEK, Hussey came out with some incredible comments, Michael Vaughan as well. And obviously now people like Suresh Raina has joined him in retirement, you know, good friends, close friends with him. And I normally would say, like, why would you do that, Raina? Kind of just let Dhoni just have his time. But I think it almost made it almost like it was a tribute to Dhoni by saying, you know what, I'm going to join you, mate. I'm going to join your brother in a top retirement. You know, you've led the way. You know, maybe I don't want to play with you. I think you've gone. That's kind of end of an era for both of us. Because them two have been hand in hand, obviously. Not so much for India, but especially for Chennai. So maybe it was more of a tribute to Dhoni as more than anything else. or maybe he thought no one really give a shit if he retired in a month's time. I don't know. Suresh Raina. No, he was a good player. He was a good player for India, and he's been a brilliant player for Chennai. Absolutely brilliant. But anyway, it's not about Raina. This is about Dhoni. And just to lay a few comments on me on MS Dhoni's departure from the international game. I'll miss him. I'll miss him in new colours. You know. It just I mean towards the last 18 months, you know, he hasn't really had the same kind of that, you know, pizzazz about him and that kind of aura about him, I would say, of invincibility that maybe he showed previously. I mean, I think about him. I think Dhoni, as I said before, arrogant player, but a cool player, like, you know, cool guy, and he's lots of me like to spend time with. I mean, I think about, you know, his World Cup victory, you know, pushing himself up the order ahead of man of the tournament, Yuvraj Singh, and then blasting 91 not out of 79 balls. And you think about that, that's the stuff to have your last last breaths with. That just kind of thought, you know. I mean, hitting Kulasekara over mid-on for 6 to win the World Cup, you know, in your home country. It's just the stuff that sporting dreams are made of. I mean, as a kid, you think about the best things you think about, you know, the things that you would aspire to do as a sportsman, you know, as a cricketer, professional cricketer, and you would think about that, like scoring the winning runs in a World Cup final at home and bludgeoning a 6 to do it. That'd be one of them. That'd be right up there with anyone's aspirations in the sport as a 5-year-old, 10-year-old. And that's what he achieved. I mean, this guy even bowled at Lords. He bowled at Lords, and people forget that. He took the ball, remember, I think he came on first change or second change, can't remember, in that 2011 Lords test. Was it a story for the grandkids to say, listen, I bowled at Lords. I also bowled at Lords. I did all this. But just all these moments in his career just make for an incredible existence in the game. He will go down as one of the greatest, definitely in Indian and probably just overall cricketing history. You know, a phenomenal player, and I had to do a piece on it. I had to do a video on it. I had to, because it's someone I've always admired and respected. So that's pretty much it from me, guys. If you enjoy the content, do please like the video. What's your thoughts? Do you have any comments? Do you like Dhoni? Do you not like Dhoni? Maybe I was a bit over the top with him. Maybe I wasn't enough. I didn't give enough praise. You know what do you think about Dhoni's retirement? Disappointed? Maybe he should have carried on for a bit, you know. Obviously with the World Cup next year in 2021 he would have been 40, but should he maybe try to carry on till then, or was it time to go now? Anyway, leave your comments below, and if you like the video, do like it, and share with anyone you might think would like the video, and also subscribe. Alright guys, I will see you on the next one. Cheers.